Hello and welcome back to the Academy of the Magical Art. I am Frater Ophiel, and this is a later video in a series on the laws of magic. Today we will be covering the laws of association, similarity, and identification. The law of association is probably one of the most frequently used of all the laws of magic. This falls right in line with the principles of sympathetic magic, which simply means things reacting upon each other under certain imposed or imaginary conditions. Examples of this would be seen early in magical tradition when we would see a shaman dress up as a hunter and hunt somebody dressed up as a deer symbolically so that the actual hunters of the tribe would be successful in their hunt. This basic practice for promoting a successful hunt can be seen tens of thousands of years back. The law of similarity is the first of two sub-laws contained within the law of association. The second is the law of contact or contagion. The law of similarity states that like things produce like things, or that an effect resembles the cause. Schematically, this may be illustrated as such. Thing A may produce something similar to itself called thing C, and thing B may produce something similar to itself called thing C, and something called thing C may be shared by both thing A and thing B. Or a man and a woman come together and procreate and produce a child being thing C, and the man and woman being things A and B. This child will be completely unique of its own, but still bear similarity to its two parents, thing A and thing B. If you look at that child on any level, you will see traits of both the mother and the father, the way they look, how they act, their mannerisms, how they speak. This is very times found as a basis in the argument of nature versus nurture. Some things are just our nature, which is passed down from our parents. The law of contact or contagion is the second sub-law of the law of association, and states that once things have been in contact with each other, they continue to act on each other and react with each other at a distance even after physical contact has been severed. This video is discussed further in our video on magical anchors. Quantum physicists have even proven this when they've shown themselves dividing a photon in half and stimulating one half and seeing the other half react. These two things have been physically separated, but they still continue to react within and upon each other. The law of contagion can also be found within the following example, showing that something or commodity C, which is similar to and was shared by thing A and thing B, can, after its detachment from thing A and thing B, affect or control either or both of those objects. The mutual influencing effect or control these things exert upon each other is dependent upon the greatness with which C was shared. They form a triangle within themselves and act and react upon each other. From the law of similarity, a magician can infer that he can produce any effect just by imitating it. And from the law of contact, the magician infers that whatever he does to a material object will equally affect the person or entity that the object was once attached to, whether in the form of body, part, or not. We see oftentimes in the practice of making puppets or dolls, if making them for another person, you will use a personal effect of clothing of theirs in the making of this doll, so that it will have a greater effect upon the object in which you are trying to work. Another example of this sub-law would be when a hunter eats the liver of a lion that he killed in a hunt to then gain the strength of that lion. This can also be illustrated within the Hand of Glory. The law of identification or imitation is where one entity will assume the characteristics of another. The more the first entity knows about the second, the better the imitation. If this produces a strong association between both entities, it might also involve becoming the other entity itself. A temporary identification can be considered divine or spirit possession. This law is used by witches when invoking the spirit of the mother goddess to enter her high priestess and coronis into the high priest during some of their rites. In practices such as NLP and hypnosis, you'll hear a term called core, or establishing a connection with somebody. This is when you literally join up with that person. You match their breathing and some of their movements and play off of the mirror neurons in the mind to create a connection and literally jump on the same brainwave with that person. And in doing so, you are able to work with them to get them to release specific traumas or hardships from the past. You also see in sales where they will establish rapport with their client to better guarantee the efficacy of the sale and increase the chance of making the sale. These are important laws to consider when working with your magical practices to help guarantee success in whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. Being able to use the law of association and try to sympathetically carry out an act that you are trying to achieve, or put yourself in an emotional state that you are trying to attain through the success of a specific magical act by using the law of similarity or the law of contact or contagion to create that energetic bond, or utilizing the law of similarity to your advantage. Understanding and having knowledge of and building a solid understanding of these laws greatly becomes a great asset and a tool to your own personal practice when trying to manifest positive things into your reality. I also want to encourage that you not only go back and view our part 1 on the laws of knowledge and stay tuned for the later parts to come. Next, we will be discussing the laws of opposites, polarity, and balance, followed by the laws of infinite data, finite senses, infinite universes, and true falsehoods. I want to thank you for joining with me today at the Academy of the Magical Art, and until next time, blessed be.